What is up, everyone? Alright, so I figure I'd do the hero rebalance since there is no additional patch notes or patch note that appear on their Facebook page. So yeah, sorry for the delay and the late upload, but I guess it's better later than never, right? Alright, so let's check it out. I haven't really go through in details. I just glanced through briefly, so I have no idea what to expect much. Well, I do know the heroes though, so they are adjusting Dolores, Sonic Boom, Nox, and Xeros stats. Alright, so the stats will be adjusted, that's for sure, and some of the heroes' skill effects will be rebalanced, and that's good. When we talk about rebalance, we are talking about buffs, lots of them, lots of buff, no nerfs, which is good, and you always want that, especially on heroes like Dolores, Sonic Boom, and Zero. Maybe not so much on Nox. Yeah, the three heroes are very rare. You don't see them much in BOH at all, with the exception of Nox. I think I know a couple of people who runs Nox all the time. There's two of them in my guildmates. Yeah. Alright, so let's have a look at Dolores first. This is him, as usual. Alright, so they are putting the passive skill first. Grid is good, increases the amount of gold that Dolores receives in battle by 7.8%. So they are adding also increases attack by 800 and defense by 400 at the beginning of each turn. So up to 4000 attack and 2000 defense. That means 5 turns max. Alright, so once you reach turn 5, that's the max. You are getting 4000 attack and 2000 defense. That's a very strong buff. I mean, like, it improves his passive skill a lot. It gives him synergy with how he is used, because Dolores is commonly used in the Skybury. Generally you want to bring him along, especially to Celestial's stage, just to get slightly more gold, and this really helps on that stage because it's usually a prolonged stage. You don't complete it in a couple of turns. Alright, so money grab, I believe this is the skill 1, so there's no changes to this, and that's fine. Credit line, so want a taste of Dolores' money, inflicts damage equal to 146.6% of attack and removes buff effects with a 100% chance. Alright, so it's the same thing. Wait, it's different. Wow, okay, so right now they are buffing it to 188.3% of attack. Remove buff is still there, 100% chance. Also increases Dolores max HP by 15% for 2 turns. Alright, that sounds very strong. It removes buff effects, more than one buff, not just a single buff, I think. Alright, so let's have a look at the third skill, class warfare. Topples Dolores a statue to inflict 204.8% damage and burn the enemy's MP by 185. So they are adjusting the skill range slightly. Also decreases its attack by 18%. So I'm assuming this refers to the enemy, not Dolores himself. It doesn't make sense if it refers to him. 100% chance. That's a very good debuff. 18%. Wow. That's equivalent to an Angel Knight's attack buff, if I remember correctly. Alright, so yeah, really liking this. Very strong. I'm curious to see how he will turn out, especially in Tower of Dawn. This would definitely make him a lot more useful. Alright, let's have a look at Sonic Boom's one. Ninja skill, train ninjutsu. So I believe this is the passive skill. Each time Sonic Boom moves to another cell, its critical increases by 650 and critical damage by 3.25%. So right now they are increasing the critical rate from 650 to 950. Critical damage is still the same and attack by 600. So each time he moves to another cell. That's quite significant. Alright, no change on skill 1, that's fine. Let's have a look at skill 2. So Fork Cleaving Ninjutsu inflicts damage increase to 181.5%. Also increases Sonic Boom's movement by 1 for 1 turn. Stacks up to 3 times at level 5 or above. This skill increases the character's movement by 2 and 3 at level 10 or above. So very strong skill. It allows him to have extremely high movement. I believe he is one of the few characters that can achieve like 7 to 8 movement without a movement set. Yeah, very strong. Alright, so Ninja Secret Blood Ritual. This is his third skill, I believe. 199% of attack, still the same modifier. Let's see, the enemy has a 7.5% chance of instant death. Additionally, this skill's final power increases by 14% if used after traveling 4 or more tiles. Alright, it's very hard to make him move 4 or more tiles unless he has Ghost Step. Wait, no, he doesn't need to have Ghost Step. His movement is quite high. But yeah, it depends really. Let's see, final skill power by 14%. 14%. So you need to move him around to gain that 14%. I guess it's okay. It's not too broken or anything, but yeah, it's just it's an okay buff, I would say. You could always move him around just to gain the additional final skill power by 14%. Yeah, just move him 4 tiles around there or more. I'm not sure if this makes him viable in PvP, in Battle of Honor, but yeah, he definitely has his uses. We'll see. Alright, let's have a look at Nox. I think everyone is hyped about Nox. I am too, personally. I'm more of a Persona fan, so yeah, not too fond of Nox. But he is pretty strong, I gotta admit. Alright, let's have a look. So absorbs 37% of the damage he inflicts on the enemy as HP. Against enemies with HP less than 50%, this skill's final power increases by 18.5%. So their entering ignores defense by 2800 if enemies against with 50% of more HP. Whoa, that's strong. So that means anyone with full health, he will ignore 2800 defense. And it's a passive skill. It's not like first, second or third skill. That means it applies to all his skills, which makes him, it makes him very strong. Definitely one of the stronger buffs I've seen in a long time. Alright, no change on slot 1. That's fine. Let's see, slot 2. Makes the blood of the enemies in a straight line boil, inflicts damage at 181.5% of attack as opposed to 162 previous one, and immobilize enemies for 1 turn. Alright, so he does gain almost 20% modifiers around there. Let's have a look at the third skill, Spell Boost. Magic inflicting damage at 190.3% of attack on enemies within range, and has 80% chance as opposed to previously with 75% chance to confuse the target. Also, Nox's attack increases by 10%, when his HP is 50% or higher. Alright, so this should almost always be achievable, especially due to his lifesteal. Let's see. Previously was attack 100,200. Now he's attacked by 10%. 10% should be quite significant. You should, if you have decent gears on him, yeah, you should gain at least 1200 or even more, depending on what type of gear you have on him. Alright, definitely very strong, very good buff, especially on his passive, that ignore defense, man, that ignore defense. Alright, our last hero to look at is Xero. Let's have a look. Xero's attack increases by 17% when his HP is 70% or higher. So they are changing it to Xero's attack increases by 20% when his HP is 60% or higher. Reduces damage from enemy attack with 2 or more range by 20%. Wow, that's OP, man. Like, definitely he's not a tank by any means, but it should help him to survive a little bit longer with that passive skill. Alright, let's have a look at his first skill. Modifiers change from 138.8% to 152.4%. So skill 2 deals damage from the shadows at 181.5%. That's a slight increase as opposed to the 162% in the previous one of attack. Increases Xero's movement by 1 for 2 turns. Alright. So previously it has drained 42.5% of the targeted enemy's HP. So they are removing that. He no longer drains HP, but he ignores enemy's defense by 3200 when he uses the second skill, Eclipse. Alright, lick down. Severes enemies' Achilles tendons at lightning speed to inflict damage at 202.9% of attack and decrease their movement by 3 for 2 turns. Okay, so if there are more than 2 enemies in this skill's range, inflicts damage equal to 11% of target's current HP. Okay, so this deals HP percent damage. Previously was if there are 2 or more enemies, it inflicts additional 12,400 defense. It's still there. Ignoring defense and 12,400 of fixed damage. So they are changing the fixed damage to 11% of the target's current HP, which might be more depending on how tanky the enemy is. And I would say that's a buff for sure, especially on a Chris with 200k HP. You know, 11% is 20k to 20,000. That's definitely higher than 12,400. But yeah, I feel like that is a very, very slight buff, and definitely I'm just curious how his passive skill will work, how this will work out, because reduces damage from enemy attack with 2 or more range by 20%. Wow, isn't that similar to, is it similar to Devil's Knight? No, Devil's Knight has a slightly different description, but it's, I think he can hold his own depending on how you are building him. Definitely he's a counter to especially can be used to counter heroes with long range, and it will help him, it will extend his life by a few turns depending on how you set him up in Battle of Honor. So yeah, I would say the best buff still goes to Nox. Definitely I like his buff a lot. Nox and Dolores, despite being paper heroes, I'm really excited for them. Alright guys, That's it for my analysis. I don't think there's anything else. So yeah, let me know what is your favorite buff in this patch. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. It's always very empty. Would appreciate it to hear from you guys as well. Alright, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel. We'll wait and see if there's a patch tomorrow. If there is, I'll try to make an analysis on the patch note. If there's not, then that's fine. Alright, stay tuned for that. Till then, have a nice day. Good night.